Hello my loyal companions, welcome back to the channel. Today is the day that the new rogue Glimpse will launch into Rogue Company, but before she actually gets to the live servers, I want to give you 5 tips or 5 pieces of information about the new rogue that you need to know before you play her. I'm going to cover things like how her ability works, some counters, and some playstyle tips so you know what you're getting into before she gets into your games. As always, if you go on to enjoy, make sure you drop that like and subscribe. For now though, let's get into it. Okay, so tip number 1 is you need to understand how her ability works. Her ability is one of the more complicated mechanics within Rogue Company because there's a lot of different stages to how that camouflage invisibility actually operates in game. So let's break it down. Her ability is not like other abilities which either have a one-time use or a use and then a recharge. Hers is very unique. Glimpse's ability operates on an energy-based system. So when you use the ability, you drain some of your energy meter, and when you're not in your ability, that energy meter goes back up. This allows her to use her invisibility on and off as much as she likes as long as she has the energy. So you can't stay invisible for extended periods of time, but you can stay invisible quite a lot if you know how to manage the energy meter. The invisibility itself actually has 3 different stages of camouflage. The level of invisibility you're at actually is shown to you when you activate the ability as one of 3 dots. When it's at 1 dot, this is your least camouflage state. So this is normally when you're running around the map or moving at a very fast pace and you are very visible to your enemies. The second level of invisibility is when you are either shot at, revealing you ever so slightly from your camouflage state, or when you are walking around the map. This is still a pretty camouflage state, but can be seen a lot easier than the 3rd level we're about to get onto. That 3rd level is your most invisible form, and you're practically completely invisible. This is when you're either standing still or you are crouch walking across the map, and you are very hard to spot unless someone's got keen eyesight and can see that very slim glimmer of you. Understanding these different levels of invisibility is important so you know how you can move around the map depending on different states you're in. Remember, the level of invisibility depends on how fast you're moving, so make sure you are being careful about that when you get near enemies. So the second thing you need to know about Glimpse is how you can figure out where she is no matter what character you're playing. She obviously has certain counters which we'll get onto next, but every rogue can find her if you know what you're looking or listening for. So Glimpse makes an audio cue when she's nearby. When she's in close proximity to you, you'll hear a buzzing sound, and that is the sound of her invisibility, and that's when you need to start being aware. When you hear that, you need to be looking around to see if you can find that very faint glimmer of her sitting somewhere. If you can find that, you can shoot her, get the kill before she pops out of the ability. However, it is very hard to do, so you may have to wait till she pops out, which you still are able to kill her from. If you can train your ears to get good at figuring out what side she's likely to be on based on where you hear that hum, you'll have a much easier time of spotting her when she comes out of her invisibility. But when she does come out of that invisibility, not only does she have a short delay before she can actually shoot, she also pings for you on your screen. If she's in close proximity to you and she comes out of the invisibility, there'll be a marker on your screen saying, hey, she is here. That gives you enough time to snap and maybe take an even trade with her. This is sort of a little counterbalance so that she's not busted and can just invis pop out and kill you. Although good glimpses will find a way around this and will still surprise you with where they come out, even though you have that UI indication. But for the most part, and when you get in, you will be able to see a visual cue when she pops out, the audio cue when she pops out, and when she's in her invis, and you'll be able to see a very faint glimmer of her no matter what rogue you are. However, that is not the easiest thing, so the 3rd thing you need to know about Glimpse is her counters. Now Glimpse is actually very counterable. She's countered by a lot of rogues and a lot of different pieces of utility, including all reveals and EMPs. This means things like Data Snap, Talon Dart, Phantom Smoke, Sticky Senses, Seeker Reveal, and any other form of natural reveal will be able to spot her, including tracker rounds if you can find a shot on her, and you will be able to see her in that invis. And then the other things that counter her are all types of EMPs, so these are the EMP grenades and glitches hack. Glimpse is actually going to be a very good natural counter to her because he'll be able to spot her on his hack device when she is in near proximity, hack her, she'll pop out, still give you the UI indication of where she is when you hack her or EMP her because she comes out of the invis, and then you'll be able to push for that kill with a flashbang, a semtex, or whatever it be because she doesn't have tenacity. So there are actually a lot of counters for her. She's just going to take a different level of thought and processing for you to be aware of her. But if you are aware of her and you are a smart player, I don't think this invisibility, especially in a flanking terms, is going to be the most impactful thing at getting behind you and surprising you unless the Glimpse is very good. And there are some tips of how you can play Glimpse better that I'm about to get onto now. Glimpse's ability should not be overused. I was doing this on PTS, I felt like I was overusing the ability, and that short delay when you come out of the invis was getting me killed quite a lot. So you have to think smarter about how you're using this, and there are 3 different ways that I want to go over of how you can use the ability. The first one is probably the most effective one, and this will come into things like demolition, position, which is going invisible to move across lines of sight that you don't want to be seen in. This doesn't mean that you're flanking every time. It can lead to a padded step stalker flank, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It can be simply crossing to places that you don't want the enemies to see you get to get a power position on them. Similar to how Lancer ults to get to power positions quick, she can invisibly walk to those positions without the enemies knowing they're really there. That's going to be one of the most effective ways to use her ability, especially when it comes to things like demolition. However, that's not the only thing you want to be using it for. The other thing you want to be using it for is outplay ability. Now, it's going to take a very, very good glimpse to do this and to get into a fight, go invis and outplay somebody with their movement, but it is possible. You can definitely confuse people with where you are if you can pull off an invis play. Say you take a bad trade and you want to very quickly reposition while invisible, that's going to be your key, especially, and what I found is using height. If you can go invisible and get above somebody and pop out of your invisibility, that seems not to be able to compute with people's brains as quickly, and you can get the drop on people really well, even if you are technically at a disadvantage going into that fight. So being able to outplay people with your positioning while going invis in the middle of a fight is going to be really, really big. The third way of using the ability though is actually going to be to recover after a fight or a back trade. So say you take a fight, say you get a kill, but you need to reload or you need to heal, pop that invisibility. You can do both reloading and healing whilst invisible, and if you can just sit there and get that done, you can then pop out and re-engage into the fight whilst being safe. This is a really, really effective method and probably one of the simplest, but one again of the most effective. So do make sure you're doing this, get in a fight, get a kill, and if you can't immediately go into another fight, just go invisible, heal yourself up, reload your weapons, then pop back out ready for the fight. And you'll confuse a lot of people by doing this, and just keep yourself safe while you're in that recovery state. And then the last things that I want you to know about Glimpse before she hits live servers today is going to be some of her hidden features around that invisibility, specifically when it comes to the bomb and revives. Now, when it comes to revives, Glimpse can both be revived whilst invisible and revive somebody else while invisible. This is particularly effective with Dahlia revive because you can get revived very quickly with that Dahlia link without being seen from a distance. Same drone will still be visible so they can still shoot it or figure out where you are, but Dahlia link is a very particular type of counter that is going to be very good on a revive. And then the other thing is bomb plants. Now, you cannot plant the bomb whilst invisible. The way the game works is you have to activate your trigger to plant the bomb, and that just doesn't work with the invisibility mechanic. But defusing the bomb, you can do completely invisible. So guys, when there's a glimpse on the enemy team and you're in demo, do not go and play for the bomb far away because you may not be able to see her defusing that bomb, and she may get a ninja defuse off. In fact, I kind of want to see your guys' ninja defuse clips when she comes out, so hit up the Discord, it's in the links below, and post them there if you get any. I kind of really want to see some. Okay then guys, that takes us to the end of the video, and if you did enjoy, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also come follow me on twitch.tv/RADTHARGAMING, where I'll be playing Glimpse as soon as she hits live servers all day, so you get an idea of how this rogue works. All my socials linked down in the description below, but for now, I hope you have a fantastic day. And as always, remember, be loyal, be brave, be relentless. I'll catch you in the next video.